Bitcoin is right on the verge of a monster short squeeze. Did you catch that? Also, 70,000 Bitcoin are just being sold right now. We absolutely have to take a look at that. On top of that, Michael Saylor is now actually confirming the unbelievable, and we're not in a bull market yet. We're hearing this statement more and more now. More and more people are now saying, no, the bull market hasn't really started yet. There's a brand new, really exciting development that we absolutely have to check out. Donald Trump has made a new statement about Jerome Powell, about his resignation, about his potential firing, and we've got the Robinhood CEO saying that the biggest market makers are all coming into Bitcoin now, and of course they're going to pump the prices up here. Even if we have small pullbacks here, even if the current sentiment is bearish, there's no reason to panic. So go ahead and smash the like button below for higher Bitcoin prices, for freedom, for peace. And now let's dive right in. The Bitcoin therapist puts it really well here. Strategy needs 4 years to accumulate 1% of all Bitcoins. But just in the past year, the strategy added another 2%, so now they hold a total of 3% of all Bitcoins. You really need to think twice now before selling your Bitcoin. This decade is going to be absolutely crazy, because if we look at it, there's more and more selling pressure building up. Even if we look at the strategy of the treasury companies, over time they have to keep buying more Bitcoin to maintain their yield. That means they're basically forced to keep pumping up the Bitcoin price here. Of course, there are also some sausage heads out there saying, yeah, we're just about to enter a bear market, and now things are heading back toward a bear market. For example, here we have one of these super smart know-it-alls who writes, you YouTuber live in your dream world. Bitcoin is just like any stock, pure speculation. At the moment, Bitcoin is very bullish. By 2026 at the latest, it'll be completely sold off. Guys, you need to wake up. Everything is just a game. Michael Saylor is from the other side, no family, so he goes all in. Take care of your wealth and don't trust any YouTuber. You can see how the panic is rising again here. And yeah, of course, don't trust any YouTuber, don't even trust me. I've never said that you should trust me. You have to trust yourselves. Get an idea for yourselves, take a look at this, question things critically, get multiple perspectives, and then make your own decisions. And we'll get into why the bull market might be postponed, why the bull market hasn't really started yet. There's a really, really exciting statement coming up, but first, while we're still on strategy, Michael Saylor is pulling off an unbelievable move here. He's setting the price of his stretch perpetual preferred stock through a supply shock, or rather a demand shock, and is increasing the deal from 500 million to 2.521 billion US dollars. So it's oversubscribed. Let's fucking go. That means the demand for Strategy's financial products is way, way higher than the supply. And then we've got the situation where there's now massive OG Bitcoin selling pressure, like really heavy OG Bitcoin sell pressure. Apparently, 70,000 Bitcoin have been sold here. By the time you watch this video, there might be even more Bitcoin sold. And for that, the Bitcoin price is actually holding up really well. I mean, just think about it. Back in the day, if someone had sold 70,000 Bitcoin, where would the Bitcoin price have ended up? And check this out. There was actually a report here saying, the current sell-off is connected to Galaxy Digital sending 30,000 Bitcoin to exchanges overnight. The company received 80,000 Bitcoin from a Bitcoin whale last week. And now, pay attention, here comes the update. According to Bitcoin News, Galaxy has now sold 70 to 80,000 Bitcoin and only has 10,000 Bitcoin left. You can see here as well that you can't keep up the selling pressure forever. That's the nice thing about sellers. They can basically hit the market with selling pressure once, and after that, they're out of the market. Then these Bitcoins move into strong hands, into hands that might never sell the Bitcoin. I really think that's a sign of maturity, even for an asset, that such massive amounts can be sold off and there are only small price jumps. Sure, definitely, but it's not causing major panic anymore, and people just aren't as bothered by it as they used to be. Back in the day, it was always really brutal whenever a huge amount of Bitcoin was moved somewhere. These days, people just don't care as much, especially when it's clear there's such massive demand that the market can easily absorb it. And that's why there are these bullish statements that show again, hey, we're not heading straight back into a bear market or anything. That's what a lot of people completely misunderstand. Here, monster 15 billion Bitcoin short squeeze alert. A short squeeze is just around the corner, and you can see it here too. The liquidation heat map reveals. A really, really massive buildup here on the liquidation map can be seen at 120,000 US dollars. If we reach this resistance zone, the short squeeze liquidation could be triggered very, very quickly here, and Bitcoin could pump much, much higher. You can also see it here in the green area, where the short liquidations are. But that doesn't mean 100% that we're going to shoot up massively right now. Could also be that we see another pullback. Anything is possible. I mean, the thing is, in the short term, Bitcoin is just so hard to figure out. In the medium and long term, it's relatively easy to see the roadmap for Bitcoin. We also see here that Donald Trump once again says he believes that Fed Chairman Jerome Powell might be ready to cut interest rates. Yeah, you don't have to be, a magician or anything like that to see it. Next week is the FOMC meeting, I think. Should be next week. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. It's the FOMC meeting. That means, theoretically, interest rates could already be lowered then, but That doesn't have to happen next week. Could also happen later. I'm not sure. Was the meeting next week? Whatever. Let me know in the comments if that's not right. But this year, it's very, very likely that interest rates will go down at some point. But the thing is, a single rate cut isn't really a game changer. What would really be a game changer here is if monetary policy does a complete pivot and then meeting after FOMC meeting, one after another, they start lowering interest rates step by step, or like Donald Trump wants, all at once, bam, 3% down and that's it. Completely unsettle the markets here. And then, after the initial uncertainty fades, pump the markets hopelessly upward, flooding them with cheap money like there's no tomorrow. And there was a very, very interesting video on Sworn about this. Is Bitcoin on the verge of quietly forming a $1 million Bitcoin blow off top here? And yes, the 1 million is a very high estimate here. It's probably just a random number anyway. We could just as well use 400,000 or 300,000 US dollars. Is a massive top forming here without people even noticing, with a massive foundation that is very, very healthy. And all of this means that the bull run, the intense parabolic phase, hasn't even started yet. And now, please check out this intense statement.
Let's listen to what Joe Carlasare said on the Q2 Bitcoin Mastermind panel with Preston Pysh.
It's not just Bitcoin, guys. NASDAQ has made a new all-time high today. The S&P 500, all-time high today. Bitcoin breaking out. And the most interesting thing about it to me is that we know that when Bitcoin runs, it runs hard. And you had this whole year, basically, we were just consolidating over the inauguration day high of, what was it, 110, somewhere there. We're going to break here and we're going to go higher. And I think this persistent services inflation, which there's signs of it picking up again, is going to keep us closer to 3% than 2%. And what is the Fed going to do in that environment? Is the Fed really going to cut in the face of that? I know they're getting browbeat, but that in some ways makes the problem worse. So really fascinating here. I think the overall TLDR is that the recession risks are totally overblown based on the current data.
Yep. Holy bull in the house.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think this is an absolutely exciting time to be long risk assets across the board, but especially with Bitcoin, because we've got every catalyst in the world. We've got massive Bitcoin treasury companies, which I'm sure we'll get into, sucking up Bitcoin, planning to buy Bitcoin, getting in the marketplace. We got a frenzy on that. We got Bitcoin, I think, structurally undervalued here. We look at all-time high, and sometimes we get this natural PTSD, like, oh, this seems a little weak. I think it's the opposite. I would be curious, Jeff, your thoughts, or Preston or Huddle, like, do you really feel like there's leverage in the Bitcoin space right now? I feel like there's a complete lack of leverage.
Right.
And what he means by leverage here is what usually happens at the end of these parabolic runs, that the leverage just goes up, that we build up such massive momentum that one thing leads to another, and of course, actual real leverage increases as well. That means people want to use leverage. They're no longer satisfied with 1 or 200% per year. They want 3, 4, 500%. So the leverage ratios shoot up massively and so on. And right now, we have all these catalysts in the background, but the massive FOMO wave hasn't hit yet. But all of that could definitely happen here. The thing is, we're standing on a very, very solid foundation. And from this foundation, we can really build up well here.
That's what I'm saying. That burner hasn't even turned on yet.
Yeah.
We're not even close to the exciting part yet of a bull market. And I think, to you guys' point, just a few days ago, I don't post very much on social media, but on Nostr, I posted a little thing of a reverse head and shoulders pattern that I've been watching play out with Bitcoin. And we're pretty much there right now. I think it taps on the door and then it shoots higher. And I think we'll be at 140 to 160 before people can blink. And so people who are sitting on the sideline waiting for it to pull back again, I think they're out of luck.
And that's exactly the thing. There will always be a few maltation eaters sitting on the sidelines, stuffing themselves with maltation, so busy eating that they completely forget to buy Bitcoin and do their accumulation. And then they're all surprised. Oh shit, suddenly Bitcoin has gone up. That's just how it always is. We always see that within 10 or 20 days, significant price jumps happen here. I said this many times before, but I have to say it again and keep repeating it because people always forget that a lot can happen with Bitcoin in a very, very short period of time. And if you're busy stuffing yourself with bratwurst or maltation at that moment, eating maltation, no offense, it's all good. Go ahead and enjoy your maltation and bratwurst. But then it's really, really bad if you're not on top of things here. And that's the big warning. And you heard it here too. 160, 180,000 this year is easily possible. And there was even an interview here with the Robinhood CEO, who now even says that the biggest market makers are supporting Bitcoin and crypto and are entering the Bitcoin and crypto market. That's intense. So people can sense that there's money to be made here with Bitcoin, but unfortunately it's only the big players, the people who did their homework, the ones who already have a lot of cash, and the little guy, the average Joe, he just gets wiped out again. But that's always how it is, unfortunately. But that's not because the big players are so evil or have so much money and power. No, it's simply because people are too lazy, they don't do their homework, and would rather watch Netflix or play PlayStation or something. Yeah, so if you want to buy Bitcoin, if you want to be an animal in the system, I'll put a link for you to 21 Bitcoin. Here you can easily and securely buy Bitcoin. With the code BitcoinOdal, you can get up to 20% off the fees when buying Bitcoin. Definitely check it out, guys. See you. Until then, peace out.